Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is David Nell, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And actually, with love, honor, and blessings to every one of you, I hope you're having a happy Saturday, a good weekend, and that many blessings are being brought your way. So, this is October the 6th, I believe, and it's about quarter to 8 Eastern Daylight Time, just as a little note. So here's a subject that's been tossing around in my head for the last few days. And I get my little angel messages, if you will, about stuff to think about, talk about, and otherwise, my job here is to poke your brain with thoughts you may not have, have had on your own. So you have to come to me for me to poke your brain with some silly little nonsense or something. But I've noticed when I look through the news and everything, when I scan the web for different things, and all kinds of things, I look at it and I think to myself, okay, what's out there? What do y'all want me to look at? What is it that is important to discuss right now? And having suffered a lot in my own life about feeling worthless, oh well, that's you could do better. You've got a worthless job, or even though I've always tried to do the best I could. And so at some point, there's that inside that takes over. A lot of people call it depression or whatever it might be, that we are worthless at what we do. So recently, in the last 5 years, I went through a similar type of experience in that um, having reached the age of 60 and then having had a traumatic brain injury and grand mal seizures and so forth, having never had them up to that point, um, and lots of medical issues and so forth, it gives one a sense of worthlessness. I mean, okay, well, I used to do theater and a puppeteer and I'm all these things. And each one of us, but there are times in our life when we reach a point. Sometimes it's, old age. Sometimes it's an incident, a car accident, or something like that, which is what happened to me. But to the point, though, it's that you're humming along, thinking you're a worthwhile person. You're trying to do good. You're kind to people. And then all of a sudden, you're just knocked out of the ballpark. And I mean, you're taken out of the game. It's like, see you later, alligator. And then the worthlessness falls in. It's like, well, Now, I know many people my age, and it's not just my age. I know people in their 30s who have had, started out, had a good job, something happened, one thing happened to another. And with the economy these last 20 years, I mean, come on. I know too many people who have lost their house, have rented a house and then had to rent a smaller house. And then, it's just not good. Okay. And with all these things that happen to us, it makes us feel worthless. You think, oh my God, but yeah, but I for the last 3 weeks, I've been looking for a job, anything that I could do. You're overqualified. Well, I don't know. We just hired somebody. And well, check back next week. Been there, done that a bunch of times in my 66 years. So it's like there's so much worthlessness in this world. The Agenda 21 folks, they want to think that we're at each other's throats. There's 31 different flavors of sex, of gender now. Sexual gender. I don't even know if sexual gender is a correct word anymore. But to the point, it's like, so and if you don't fit into this category, well, wait a minute, we just created 28 more categories. I'm sure you'll fit into one of them. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like a number 4 and maybe a 13. I'm not too sure. Wait a minute. That's 4 and 13. That's 17. Oh my God. Maybe I'm a 17. I'll cut it out. I mean, seriously, there is chaos in all of this mess, and they are making us feel worthless about ourselves. Well, you're no good. How much money did you make last year? What's your net worth? I don't know. Is this about money now? Do we need to talk about money? Well, everybody right now is, Oh, well, what about the banks? And what about this? And what are you going to do? Your savings account. Oh, how much are you worth? Well, I don't know. How much do you have in savings? I don't know, about a dime. Do you have gold? How much are you worth? I'm a human being. I'm worth this much. Well, what about when you go to a certain religious type churches? Just saying, where the man stands there and points his finger and says, you are worthless in the eyes, you are a sinner. You're worthless. If you're a sinner, that pretty much means you're a worthless scumbag, right? So, I mean, they're preaching to us when they're trying to uplift us sinners. They point their finger at us and say, read more of the Bible, and maybe, you won't be as worthless. But none of us are worthy enough in the eyes of God. They spout this stuff off. And so as we get older, as life goes on, we have to take a look at life, as I have, and just look at stuff and go, well, hang in there. Well, wait a minute. Who's making the standard here for who's worthy and who's worthy of what? Who's worthless? Wow, he's a worthless bum. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. What do you consider a worthless bum? I mean, I've worked for big corporations, flown, to different countries and been in, automobile engine plants. And I've rubbed elbows with the big guys. I've worked on big time problems. I understand it. But at the same time, they'll kick you out in a heartbeat and you're on the curb and don't give a crap. Period. It's like, well, what about all these years of service? We're going to hire. Never mind. To the point, though, you proved your worth for the many years that you work for someone, and they compensate you what they think, these little mere pittance. I'm saving them millions and I'm getting 35 grand a year. Big deal, and it's like, okay, so at the end of it all, they kicked all of us out and made 800 people feel worthless. Hang on now. We're not worthless. We just lost our jobs. But the feeling is there. So now we have to try to find things to make us feel worthy enough in society because we were knocked out of the ballpark we were in. Wasn't our fault. It had something to do with a bunch of guys sitting in a room somewhere counting beans. But the thing is they turned 800 people into more or less worthless human beings because everyone lost their good paying jobs. And the people that they went to and the stores I used to go to, well, they lost out too. So there was a lot of worth lost economically when they closed that plant. But what it did to the 800 people and all these other folks, it gave everyone a sense of worthlessness. Well, I can't get another job like that. Well, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not worth it. So what makes us worth it? And what is important nowadays? Is having having $100,000 job worth it? When you get all the accoutrements and go along with it, I saw people who were making 75 and 100 grand a year lose it, and they had to go on unemployment of like $300 a week, I think it was. So they went from $75,000 a year to $300 a week and no job. 20 years of experience, prestigious awards, diplomas on the wall from the colleges, nothing. So what are they worth? Well, it depends. Do they still have intelligence? Do they still have? Yes, they do. Do we still have our talents? Yes, we do. What made us worthless was society. Okay. Society now is trying to make so many people or things or whatever worthless. Well, you're not worthy enough to step up to this. All right, now let's go to it. I'm talking economically, but in that there's some sprinkle of what some folks would call religion or whatever. Has nothing to do with spirituality in my 10 cents worth. But what makes us worthy, quote, in the eyes of the Lord? Now, there is this thing, if you read the Christian Bible, depending on what version and how far back you read. If you're going to read the King James Version, I suggest you go back and read the original King James Version, which is not the same as what's being printed in the Bibles today. It just is a fact. Same thing with the Catholic Bibles. I've discussed this, but go back to the original text, the first printed text, and you will get a better accurate reading of what the Bible is about. It reads easy, it's understandable. You really don't need an interpreter. But I digress. To the point of being worthy, well, we're all sinners in the eyes of the Lord. We have to be baptized when we're brought into this world. As children, they dunk water on our heads and put salt and lemon in our in our mouth to tell us at an early age what the fact that we're going to encounter bitterness in our life. Oh, well, duh. Especially when you give us a start like that, of course we're going to be bitter through life. I'm just saying. But to the point, though, there are so many people who are trying to tell us that we're not worthy of being spiritual. Well, how many times did you go to church? What's that got to do with spirituality? Well, what did you do? Blah, blah, blah. How much did you give to the church? Well, for folks who are worth a lot, tongue in cheek there, for those people who are worth a lot on this planet, may not be worth a dime in the spiritual world. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying, but even the Bible says that the meek shall inherit the earth. Okay, well, what does meekness mean? Does that mean being run over by everybody? Or, you know what? And there are times when I have them. This is another subject. Being humble, being meek, being weak. Being humble, does that mean that you're a weak person? Or does that make you so super strong that if somebody did kill you, you were strong enough in your own faith that you knew you were just going to transition? I mean, I'm not looking to die anytime soon. I've changed my mind about that. But to the point, though, it's still there, So if another tree falls on my house and goes to the roof, then maybe that's my day off. That's it. But am I going to be worthy enough to move into the next realm? Am I worthy enough? Are any of us worthy enough in the eyes of God? Well, now I'm going to get off the subject of God right now and just stick with spirit, because one of the things that folks have been discussing is, hey, we are all spiritual beings. We all have a soul, depending on what religion or whatever, we can go through that, but I won't. And touches on that at some point, we are all some type of spiritual being, whether when we pass over, we become spiritual beings, whatever it is. Okay. So, and even psychics, whatever, on the parapsychology kind of things, ghosts, goblins, whatever. Okay. But are we going to transition into being a ghost? In a way. We're going to transform into where we can become transparent. Now, how cool is that going to be? Where we could just become invisible. That'd be cool. We're going to have to learn that, the transition. But what's going to make us worthy or not? Now, I keep boiling it down to, and if everything I meditate on and ask about, pray about, and so forth, it all boils down to the same thing. It's all about our frequency. It's not how much we're worth. And so that so many things in our society, well, he's a worthless bum. Okay. Well, was it, was the time spent with your friend worth it or not? Well, any time spent with a friend should be worth it. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't spend it. But anyway, so we use the word worth and worthless in ways that it's like, well, yeah, but now it's trying to be attached spirituality. And I want to kind of raise my hand and go, hey, y'all, every single one of us on this planet is worthy of becoming a spirit being. We are all worthy to go into this next transition. We're all worthy. Now, there are some of us who have really committed some bad stuff, and they're going to have to do some, karmic work. They're going to have to do internal work. They're going to have to be sorry for what they've done. Other words, that's going to just keep their frequency low. Now, you might want to say, well, okay, Dave, let's pick this apart. Would that make them worthy to go into heaven if they did murders or whatever, or conned a bunch of people, or like, that SOB that so many of us lost our jobs? It's like 800 people suffered significantly, and retirements were lost, horrible things. So that one person who made that decision, is he going to have to pay for all of us 800 people and all of the tragedy? Is that person going to have to live through what we did because of his actions? And he knew damn well and good what he was doing. So it's like, okay, but is he more worthy? Well, he got $1 million bonus that year and 800 people got laid off. He saved money. Okay. But does that make him more worthy than us? What's worth? What is his worth? Well, okay, so he's got millions of dollars, but is he getting into heaven any quicker? Is he going to get to the other realm any faster? Not. They're saying no. Now, I don't want to make this about money, but the thing is that a lot of this, how much we are worth, is tied into the money. People who are, oh, what if the economy drops? Oh, what if I don't have enough silver or gold? How about buy some tools? How about buy some seeds? How about buy some plants? How about there are other ways to invest your money that you can't eat gold or silver, or platinum or whatever. You can't eat any of that. You can't eat paper money, period. I mean, come on. So you want to invest in something, then invest in something. Invest in gardening tools. Okay. So these people are like, yeah, but I'm on top of this. I got it. I got silver under the bed or whatever. And, it's locked in the bank. Well, if they close the banks and you can't get in, you don't have it. But to the point, better off burying it in the backyard. And they said the old people in the old days with a coffee can was crazy. Who knows? Wish I could find a coffee can. Maybe I buried one. I can't remember anyway. But to the point though, what does that mean in worth? None. Does money degrade our frequency? A lot of times it does. Now, there are people who have the opportunity to have a good income, and I know they help people. There are benefactors in this world. I know them. They have helped me out in times of trouble, and I know there are folks out there. I know if I had more money, I'd be a benefactor of somebody. I'd be hiring somebody to help me around the house here. But to the point though, but is it worth it? See how many times we throw these words in there. Is it worth it? What's worth it? Is any of it worth it? When I die, am I going to be worthy enough to go to the other side? Well, I'm going to the other side one way or the other. How high up I go and what my frequency is will determine those things that I'm going to be taught, learned, and maybe whether or not I have to come back down here into this crap hole of a society and have to do this over. Hopefully I'll be reincarnated in a better place. But to the point though, it's like, but wait a minute now. So each one of us is worthy when we're placed on this planet. Bottom line, here you go. You're worth it. You are. We are. Yes, I've discussed things in my life I wished I could take back. Absolutely. But the thing is, we pick up and we say, hey, wait a minute. Yes, no more of that behavior. We're going to concentrate on this behavior and do so. That's how you make yourself worthy of the better frequencies. It's not about God sitting there checking stuff off. But if you murdered 6 people, that's some damn low frequency. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at it like that. So it's like, well, when I was in grade school and going to confessions at the Catholic Church, you had to go in and confess something. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I tied my sister's ponytails in a knot. I mean, we were outside making stuff up to go into the confessional because we're supposed to confess some grievous thing. What does an 8-year-old do that's a grievous thing? But anyway, they try to make us feel that we're not worthy, but we are. What our society and the things that and how we are developed, that makes us worthy in society. Or, well, you're a black person, and you're not worthy of the same. You're a woman, and therefore you're not worthy of the same rights. Well, you're an ex-con, for smoking a joint. We can't let you have a shotgun to kill rattlesnakes in the woods, but that's okay. We got you covered here. You're not worthy of this. Comes in many colors, many sizes. You can sit down and pick out worthy, 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 worthy. Let's forget about what society says about it. We have to, because we have to concentrate on, okay, well, murder, that's bad. Okay, but if we stick with the law of one, basically, that do no harm to any being at any time, do no harm. So if we follow that basic rule, we're pretty much covered. All right. And so, what's going to make us worthy to be able to step into this next realm, to be able to help make the transition? Like I said, nobody's doing the jump, because anybody that jumps into this next realm is going to end up back in the wading pool anyway. We have to learn how to be in the next dimensions. It's that simple. Okay. And we have to accept the fact that this is what's going to happen. We got to go to school, y'all, but to the point, so we can be worthy. If you want to be a little bit more, whatever, but to the point, yeah. I mean, before you get your driver's license, are you worthy enough to drive a car? Well, I don't know. Do you know how to start it? If it's a stick shift, can you shift gears? Do you know what the clutch is? Do you know how to, brake when it's wet outside and you go into a slide? Um, are you worthy? Are you adept enough? Wait a minute, it's not really smart enough. Have you been trained? Oh, oh. As kids growing up, they give us the round blocks and the square holes, and they go, here's a hammer. Well, duh, the triangle doesn't fit in the circle. And, okay, maybe monkeys can learn this. But to the simple point, we all have to learn. So going into this next realm, is it about being worthless? No, because even the most worthless human being, and I'm meaning by society standards, oh, well, he drinks and he's homeless and, and he hadn't combed his hair in a couple of days and he lives on the street. And okay, did you do anything to try to help this individual? Well, no, but it's not my job, not my job, but he's worthless. Okay, well, shame on you. You didn't try to help. But anyway, now, to the point, there are some folks who really don't want any help. They like where they're at, and that's that. Okay, fine. And I get that at points. But to the other side of the coin, for other people to make those judgment calls, you're going to have to stay in the waiting pool a little while longer, because you're going to have to learn some fundamentals. First off, you don't just point your finger and go, that person's worthless. We are all worth it in the grand scheme of the universe, because we all have a soul. We all have that spark of creator in each one of us. That makes us worthy. That right there, that makes us worthy. That's worth more in gold, silver, platinum, latinum, pick one. That spark in each one of us is greater than any gold. And it's the spark from creator. That makes us worthy. Now, how much we've tarnished it, you know, this ain't a judgment on anyone else. You got to go do your own homework. But the thing is that first, we are all worthy. That's number one. We came to this earth worthy of going back because we just got here. How could we not be worthy to go back if we just got here and we didn't learn anything? They wiped most of our memories, and we end up in this 3D plane going, what the hell? And then we learn from all the things around us and society, and we turn out the way we do. Okay. But when we got here, each one of us had that we still have the God spark, but it was much clearer, much cleaner. It hadn't been tarnished through life by society, by ourselves, or however, our lifestyle, whatever it is. So all you can do is I like to look at things visually. So, I have crystals around, not one at hand right now, but okay, pick a rock. Usually there's like a dozen sitting here. But anyway, take a rock and just polish it. You say, well, I don't know, it's all real cloudy and nasty. But if you stop and take the time, maybe a little bit of spit, but it works real good. Spit's one of the best cleaners on the planet. Just saying. But anyway, a little spit shine. But a little bit of this, maybe a little bit of toothbrush or something. It's just a rock. But if you take that rock and if you tumble it up, it will have a gorgeous shine. Even most of the dumbest rocks will still look beautiful after they've been tumbled and polished. So what's happened to each one of us? We've been tumbled, but not polished. In life, we have tumbled our way through. We've picked up debris from here and there. And all we really need to do is focus on polishing that God spark, that spark that's always there from Creator, because we're always worthy. And what we came onto this planet made us worthy to be on this planet. How about that one? Because we were given that God spark, that Creator spark. That's who we are. That's, you know what I mean? So by having it, that makes everything else worthwhile. And when we work towards others and when we work with others to help other beings and pass this information along, that makes all of it worthwhile. How about that one? I've been pondering on this one for about 4 days now. And it's just like, okay, give me some more information. I want to make sure that folks get this. But, there's so many things in this world that we get, it's sort of like a tossed salad. It's a head of lettuce until you chop it up and then you mix it with all the and the vinegar and oil and the croutons, okie dokie. So, but it's still delicious. But if you just ate that salad as a head of lettuce and chomped into the side of it, not quite as tasty. So life has got to be mixed up a little bit because it is. Now, what we make of it from that tossed salad, if you will, is like, well, we put the oil on first and the vinegar slid off, or we put, which one do you do first? And there is a first, by the way. But, it's best to put the vinegar on first and then sprinkle the oil. But otherwise, when you put the oil on, the vinegar runs off. Just saying. But to the point, though, are we still worthy? Even though we have committed sins in this lifetime, it all boils down to whether or not we can go inside ourselves, find that gold nugget that every one of us is born with, and just simply sit down and just take a rag and a little water and a little bit of this and just start polishing. Start doing our internal work. Because of all the things that's going to be worthwhile when we get to this next realm, when we move into this, when we in the process of this transition, what are we going to learn? We're going to learn that all of that was important. We're going to learn that the gold and the silver and all the things that we put in this monetarily wise as being worth it to us in our lifetimes was actually nothing more than excess baggage. Now, again, I'm not saying, oh, run out and go to the bank, draw your money out and just throw it in the air. That's dumb. But if you have the means to help someone, please do so. That's all. It's just as simple as that. And there really isn't, maybe for some of us, I would say maybe there is someone with a scorecard, because maybe some of us are special individuals because we're going to be um, tempted or tormented even more than others. Psychic attacks, evil entities attacking. I know this last week there was some heavy duty stuff going on, and I was like, well, Mr. Dave here's got to do some um, go away evil spirit thing, if that's what you are. Now, at the same moment, we've had some lulls in the Schumann resonance. As of right now, during this video, the Schumann resonance is literally off the chart. It all day today on Saturday. It's Sunday. It's actually Sunday morning where the instrument is located. Doesn't matter. But to the point, though, it's literally off the charts right now as I'm speaking. So these energies, these cosmic and earth energies, they're really here right now. And there's some other things going on. It's good. There's some other things that not so good. We still got earthquakes, and we're going to get some more rain, and it's finally starting to cool down here in South Georgia. I mean, it almost got to 70 degrees last night. And usually at this time of the year in the fall, usually around my birthday on the 24th, it used to be we'd have a cold snap and we would have our first night in the 60s. Hadn't hit 69 yet. It's 70 a couple of times here at the house, but just saying. So we're close. It's nice. It feels good outside. But if anybody in your life is still trying to tell you that you're worthless, or that I guess there are worthless things in this world. And for example, spending a bunch of time on a cell phone, that's pretty much worthless. Call somebody, talk to them, go over see them, and quit fiddling around with them damn apps. I bet you half of them don't even. I keep deleting apps. I had a discussion about a month ago, and I said I went through my computer. I went through because these apps were worthless to me. It was taking up space, and I'm like, oh, what's that? Sideline, chaos, a little, distraction. That's what we need to be aware of. How do we prove ourselves? How do we make ourselves worthy? We just take that gemstone that resides in each one of us, and we just need to clean it up, polish it up. That's all. Looking for something else, it isn't there because we've already got it. Okay. So folks they're seeking for something. It's out there. It's right here. What makes you worthy of traveling in interdimensional space? It's your harmonic frequency. People who are upset or stressed or scared, people who laugh a lot. Laughing in a dream, it's going to be difficult to do any astral projection, but to the point though, it takes a different level. So if you're too scared or too hyper or whatever, even the best person who wants to meditate or go astral projecting is going to have difficulty because of this 3D-ality. And what it makes them is that when they're tense, they're unworthy to astral project, or when they're whatever. So, and I'm using this as an extreme example, but if you're tense, you can't meditate, okay. So the tenseness is a different vibration than when you're looking for. So everything we do, there is a harmonic frequency attached to it. So if we're tense or angry or negative or crappy or whatever, then we're unable to have the correct frequency. And as we keep discussing about this, it is all about frequency. And we just got to do the best we can. So with that, though, remember, each one of us is worthy of this. Some of us might need to polish that, that golden spark on the inside. Some of us may have literally, dunked it in mud and, turned it into ceramic. Who knows? Okay. And it's not for me to decide. And it's for you to look at your own life and say, is my little crystal shiny on the inside? Is my own spirit shiny? Is that gem that was given to me by Creator when I got here? I came with it. It's still here. But is it all cloudy, or do I need to go get some Windex or some vinegar and a towel? You know what I'm saying? So, and vinegar is actually kind of good for you, by the way. Helps with your internals. But to the point, if you're feeling worthless, stop it, because that's BS. Society has made us feel that way. Understand that even the homeless bum can affect someone's life someday. We never know when one of us is going to affect another person. I know by these lovely people who stop by and listen to old Hawkeye have a brain fart about stuff. And I bless you all and thank you, and I have received your prayers. I know I have, because all you got to do is just, hi David, hi Quartz, hi Marie, uh, Patrick Garrick, hi, hello to you as well. And so it's like, you people make it worthwhile to me for me to do a video. I mean, I don't need compensation. You guys are the compensation. The fact that, I have a conversation with you and that I was talking with somebody the other day on a hangout thingy. And it was like, you know what? You said something the other day, Dave, and by golly, I've been thinking about it for the last 2 days. But I was like, well, what the hell was it? Well, it was just something that you said, and it just got me thinking. And I was like, right on. Now, to the point, though, I don't want to cause anybody harm. Like, oh, shit, that son of a bitch gave me something to think about, and I can't get it down my head. I've been there, done that, too. But to the point, though, Melanie, I think, yeah, my glasses are down here somewhere. But blessings to all of you. And I honor. I honor all of you for what you do. And here's the thing, though, that keeps coming up with me. Because in my lifetime, there are a lot of people, you weren't worth it. You're worthless, Dave. Years in with antidepressants and killing the self. And I mean, I've been through it all. But to the point, now I'm here and I look back and I go, them people lied to me. I was worth something all along. Now, it might not have been in their eyes, but I had this God spark in me the whole time. And so it was up to me to use it, which I did. And I've gotten wonderful things back simply because I decided to be more kind to people rather than just like being polite. I kind of went a little bit out of the way to be more kind to people. Not because I was looking at my scorecard here. It's because I realized that I could make a difference. And if I was positive with people, especially during theater as a director and as another actor and so forth, I encouraged people. There were people who'd never been on stage before who now are, they're actors and they've done this thing and they're very open. And oh my God, what more could I ask for? And the fact, and the simple thing is, I gave my time, I gave my love, I gave intent, I gave compassion to these people I worked with. Some of them young people, some of them my age. But for someone who's never been on stage before, and you have to learn lines and become a part of this theater ensemble, it's a big deal. You got to get over a lot of phobias. You got to grow up in a lot of ways. And so I've had the absolute wonderment of having worked with these people over the years. And now they're calling on my birthday, there was some remarks on my Facebook page about how much they missed me at the theater. And I hadn't had anybody from the theater call me in like 8 years, 7 years. But here were all these wonderful comments about people who remember me and the things that I did with and for the theater and with the people at the theater at the time. And so talk about nice, warm fuzzies. So there were people who told me at that time that what I was doing was worthless. There was a reason for that story about the theater. I was told all my life, you're giving your time. It's community theater. Yeah, well, but, I enjoy it and I get to meet people and interact and we do these things. And, it's very artsy. I got to be, a carpenter and an electrician and a plumber. I mean, I'm a jack of all trades, so that's a perfect place to go do it, right? Go do theater. Hey. So, but to the point though, it was the people that I worked with and their remarks years later that I'm just absolutely surprised that anybody remembers me, quite frankly. But the thing is that at the time people said, it's not worthwhile what you're doing. You're wasting your time with what you're doing. And then as people tell me their stories and say, well, Dave, if it hadn't have been for you, I wouldn't have went into theater. And now I'm in drama and I've been in this play and that one, and I won an award in high school for it. And it was all because you believed in me. Oh my God. I wasn't looking for a pat on the back, and there's no money involved. And it's not like I get a commercial out of this, but it's like, if there's something in your life that someone can come back as a teacher and say, Mr. Jones or Miss Jones or whatever, you taught me something and I have remembered you all my life. Like I have spoken about Sister Helene at Tampa Catholic all these years and the difference she made in my life. To this day, she's still helping me and having an effect with me. She continues to help me feel worthwhile. That, even as an old broken down hippie, there is still something that I can contribute. Stories, okay, fine. A subject matter, okay, fine. Who tells us we're not worthy to go into this next realm? Only our own frequency. That's it. That's it. There is no other rule. We got to have the right frequency, and we got to have the training. Some of these folks out here are still kind of sort of preaching like, oh, it's rapture time. Ooh, we're going to ascend. We're going to dive off the deep end of the pool. And it's like, I keep getting the same message. You got to tell people it ain't like that. You got to learn to swim first. You got to go in the wading pool first. If everybody can go, but not everybody. Most folks, if they ascended right away, wouldn't know what to flip and do. We got to be trained, okay? Yeah, we're all going. That's the good thing. But to the other side of the coin, excuse me again. To the other side of the coin, though, there are many people who have been told all their lives that they are worthless and they're not worthy of being able to go. That they're, oh, well, you didn't do this in life or you didn't achieve umpty scrunch. It doesn't matter what we've achieved. It doesn't matter. It does matter how much we may have torn down. How many people did we walk on to get where we were? I chose a different path. I chose to work with people rather than argue or to put forth, oh, well, I'm correct. I figured out how to get my way, and then they found out I was correct. And I didn't have to beat them over the head. I mean, it's called politics, and being calm and explaining yourself. And so what makes us worthwhile or not worthwhile? Now, who's going to be the judge of that for you? Yourself. That's who. Because you've got the golden nugget. We've all got that golden nugget from Creator. We've all got it. We've all got the spark. And some people's might be shinier than others, maybe simply because, and I'm speaking for myself, okay? I was an alcoholic drug dealer, okay. So I'm a little tarnished, maybe a lot tarnished. And so, yeah, I've been working on it. And I understand I still got work to do. Now, there may be somebody else who looks at my life and goes, Jesus Christ, man, I haven't even started where this guy's been. It's not about a race, okay? And I've discussed the red road before, What makes us worthy to be on the red road? The fact that we understand it's there. The red road, what is it? It's the trail. It's the path. It's the road to enlightenment. Well, which way do you go when you get on that dirt road? Or if it's a red road, pretty much dirt, clay road, Mother Earth. Lots of them down here in South Georgia. But so which way do you go? Well, if it's almost dark and you come out of the ditch and onto the road, you first off you realize, holy crap, I'm on the red road. I'm on the road to enlightenment. And you turn to your left and you turn to your right, and depending on which ditch you crawl out of, do you go where it's dark or do you go towards the light? Well, I've crawled out of a few ditches in my lifetime. I always went towards the light because I knew I was going to get somewhere I could see, blah, 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 blah. Not necessarily enlightenment, but there was a place where it was lit up so I could at least see what was going on. Okay, thank you very much. So, but once you get onto that red road and you say, you know what, I get it. I'm on the road. I can see it. I'm on it. I'm here. There's the light. That's darkness heading that direction. Okay, logical thinking. But then who comes along, maybe somebody's on a moped and they've got the fast track, okay? And they come by you in the mud and splatter you with mud, and your shoes are mucky, and before you know it, you're stuck in the mud. Does that make you not worthy of being on the road? You're covered in mud. Oh my God, my feet are stuck. I got to wiggle. Does that make you unworthy to be on the road because you just crawled out? What if you were a kite flyer, and instead of crawling out of the ditch, you literally come floating in from a parachute or whatever? Your plane crashed, or you landed on the road, before you crashed, whatever it is. But to the point though, it's like, okay, we're all on the road. Let's first pick that one. And we all have this spirit spark, the creator, God spark, however you want to put it. We all have this. So then what do we do with it? Well, do we waller in the mud with it? Well, I'm on the right road. It's red. I got red mud on me. But do you maybe just get a big loogie and you wash it off and find a dry spot on you somewhere and you clean it up? Speaking of your God spark, okay? So what do we do with it? So it's up to us. But when you get on the road, then you kind of eliminated the things not to do. So you're already further along than someone else who's still in the ditch going, I don't know what you're doing on the red road, but I'm going to stay over here to the ditch where it's wet and muddy and boggy and snaky. You guys go on, and there are folks like that. Now, I'm being a little humorous with this and a little countrified, but to the point though, it's true. I walk, down this road all the time, and it's like people are like, well, you're too crazy for me to think that I can talk to a tree by, okay, and I just go on. It's okay. I don't pity them. I continue to pray, but I think to myself, that one's going to be longer in the kiddie pool because they have to understand these certain rules of nature, of the universe. And it's not because I think I'm better than them. I just understand that. That's all. I just understand that a tree is alive. And if you don't, then you're going to have to work on that. Basic law. Does it make me better than them? No. It may make me a little bit more aware of my situation. But if the person's saying, I got my Bible and I'm standing here on the road and I can see the light up there and I can see all these other things. I want to do good in my life, but I'm not quite sure what's the next step. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? Really good for you. But folks are just ignoring all of it. It's okay. I'll burn some sage. It's about frequency, but we are worth it. Every single one of us, we're worth it. We're worth it. We're worth it. Now, again, you got to do your own homework. I keep repeating that, I know. But, it's like for me, over the last couple of days, I had a little bad spell when I lost my temper and I did that video about the rape of boys kind of thing. And I put myself down because I lost my temper. And then that put me into the mood of, well, you know what? It actually made me feel worthless after I got done doing that video because I had lost my temper. And so that's what got me started on this worthy, worthless. Where did we go with this? Okay. So somebody say, well, you might be worthy of it. You went through the trauma, but but it made me feel worthless by going through it again and becoming angry and bringing up something that should have been handled differently. So was there a lesson in that for Hawkeye? Oh, yeah, yeah. So I'm learning every day. I'm still learning. I'm still polishing my little piece of gold in me. But at the same time, it's my job to have these conversations with y'all because, okay, I, your day wasn't like mine, I hope, or maybe, maybe my day was better than yours. But to the point, though, it's like too many people right now are feeling worthless. And if we as human beings, if all we can do is reach out our hand and say, you are worth something. You might not be worth something to them or over here, but in my eyes, you're another human being, and therefore you are worth something. You might have to sit in the waiting pool for a while, but that's not the point. If you need company, I'll come out of the deep end and come sit with you in the wading pool. I don't, treading water for a long time is not my forte, but hey, I'll come sit in the kiddie pool with you. And I think that's what it's all about. Once you learn how to swim, once you learn how to go into the deep end, then you go back and you say, hey, the water's fine. Come here. I learned a trick. Let me show you how to do this. And that's what this is about. I'm hoping that my discussions with you, and God love every one of you, spirit shine upon you every single day. Blessings and honor be bestowed upon each one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. It makes me feel worthwhile. It makes me feel less worthless. I'll spit it out. I was trying to be humorous in there, and I just messed up the word. But Quartz Quantum, a high schooler on the city bus, said, I hate Donald Trump, and I chose not to say anything. I was thinking, do you have anything better to do in your life than to hate on something? Absolutely. And the biggest thing is a lot of these people don't even know why they're hating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you Quartz, you get it. There are folks out there hating on stuff. And they're telling people who are worthless when it's like, you don't even know what they went through. The people that I saw who lost their homes and their jobs and everything and ended up basically bumming around and this and that. If you'd have knew him 3 years earlier, would have said, oh my God, he's the pillar of the community. And he, donated to the church and he was an active community. And now him and his family lost their home and they're living in a trailer on the outskirts of town. And what? So, what is that? Judge ye not, lest ye be judged. And he who is without any sin, none, cast that first stone. But the thing is, we shouldn't be picking up rocks anyway, unless we're going to build, a retainer wall to keep the bad guys out. But to the point, though, it's like, no. So we need to, if you don't have the money or something to do something, extend your hand in friendship, in kindness, at least as far as compassion can go. And what I've realized when I first started doing this, and I was asking Mother Mary and going through my angel thing, and I was like, I'm going to do this YouTube thing, and people are going to think I'm dumb as a box of freaking rocks. And she was like, you got to have faith, Dave. And I was like, okay, you guys give me the topic, couple of days of meditation, a little dream world here and there, and a couple pictures in my head, all right. And let's have a discussion about this. All right. And I realized that when I first started this channel, I said 5 people. If I could get 5 people on my channel just to wow, that's cool. I hadn't thought of that before. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's not the point. Did I put a thought in your head to go, And so with that said, I said, 5 people, because it says in the Bible somewhere, something about, if you affect that, if one person is affected, And then that one person can affect another person or infect, depending on what you got. But to the point is that I simply wish to bring to other people's just a clarity to maybe to some things, a little bit of humor, a little bit of like common sense, some logic into this, with here we are in this big world of chaotic crap. What do we do? How do we look down the road when there's so much machinery and crap in the way? It really looks like a roadblock to a lot of us. What do we do? I want to go further down the road, but there's a mountain full of crap on the road. Well, did you bring a rope? Anybody got climbing gear? I mean, instead of giving up, we need to look a way around it. We need to say, you know what? Somebody put a great big clob of dirt here. I'm going to figure out a way around it or over it or through it or something. Maybe I'm going to dig a tunnel, But the thing is that we don't give up. And right now there's a lot of chaos still going on. They're still going to try to put a lot of BS in our heads, but we got to stay with the core value with us. We got to keep that core thing going on. We got to understand that we're all in this together. Whether we like it or not, we are. So we might as well, there's the person on the bus that you described, hating Trump, hate, 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 hate. One of the reasons I moved out of the cities, everything was hate. Walk down the road, I don't like you, I hate you, and they beat the crap out of you. And which happened to me one time down in Tallahassee, Florida. I got beat up so bad I ended up with a brain concussion and serious scars. It was not pretty. Knocked the crap out of me. Didn't get anything, but that wasn't the point. They ruined my life for a long time after that because of the severe beating that I took. So I've been around, and I was like in a car parked at the stoplight kind of deal. Anyway, but to the point. So people say, well, you haven't really been rough. Yeah, I have. Had the crap out of me, beat up and whatever, just because you look wrong, And hippie dude, blah, blah, blah. Even when my hair was short, they just knew because of just how I was. Wow, man, you're just... And I didn't talk strange or funnier. I didn't do the hippie talk, okay? It was just stupid to me, But to the point, though, I was like, I just talk like a normal person. But it was my ideas. It was my thought process. I must be a hippie, because just that. Anyway, I talk about organic gardening down here in the South where everybody uses Roundup for lunch. It's like, that guy must be a hippie. He said organic gardening. Gotta be a hippie. He must be growing that there weed. Of course, don't say nothing, but Clem's got 4 acres out in the back pasture surrounded with corn. I know that too because I helped plant some corn one year, but that's another story too. But to the point though, are we worthy? Yes, we are. And one single person, if we change their point of view, their thought, a smile, a kindness, that call it pay it forward, call it just being a nice human being, and rather than go, that worthless pizza, stop that. Well, I know you all don't, but to the point, there are times when I'm mad at the other side and I want to say, those flaming libtards, and I start off with this thing and I think to myself, you know what? I'm doing the same damn thing they're doing. They have an opinion. I just think it's like looking at a horse's patooey, but that's my opinion. But to the other side of that, wait a minute now, maybe, I don't know. But should I put anybody down? Well, he's a libtard, wait a minute. I don't have to hate on, you hate Donald Trump? Well, that's your opinion. Have a nice day. But do I have to react with like, you hate Donald Trump? Well, I hate freaking Clinton. And oh boy, here we go. So we just added to the pile and we lowered our own frequency. So we let these people say these things. We let them be buttholes. But at the same time, we do what someone told me years ago, Shingakatita, supposed to be Mayan or something, for kill them with kindness. And it's like, yep, that really works. I've told about my time in prison. Yep, kindness. It got me around a lot of stuff without having to bend over. Yes, sir, boss man. Yes, sir, boss man. But Actually, when I was saying, yes, sir, boss man, I was like, I got your silly ass because you believe me. But, but to the point, though, of things that can happen. Shifting into the fifth, we got to go the fourth first, Ricky Delaney. We got to get fourth first. We can't. We ain't can't jump them. That's just it. Just ain't happening. So all these folks, oh, we're going to the fifth. We got to get through the fourth first. People who don't know how to mind control and read other people's thoughts got to go to school. We're not just jumping into this mess. When folks start astral projection in the middle of driving down the freeway, they got to learn how to do this, okay? So we're not going into the fifth. We got to go through the fourth before we can ever touch fifth. And I'm sorry, but ain't nobody on this planet ready for fifth because they haven't been through the fourth yet. That's all. It's not that they're not qualified. They haven't learned it. They got to go to kindergarten for this. So if folks keep trying to convince you that we're going to slant, yes, we're going to the sixth dimension, actually, because it comes in threes. But we got to go through first grade first, bottom line. So that's part of the reason for these discussions. Don't, folks like, well, no. Oh, Dave said, we're going to be in the waiting pool. Yeah, you want to be in the waiting pool because that's where all the instructors are going to be. You try to jump into the deep end, they're just going to pull your ass out and hang on the clothesline until you drip dry. But for those of you, us, who wish to do this, we're going to be in the kiddie pool. I keep referring to that versus first grade. But to the point, we got to get our feet wet. Come on, guys. It's for those out there who wish to keep saying, oh, we're going to be right into that. No, we're not. Because we can't. We can't jump into it. It is physically, phenomenally, quantitatively impossible for us to jump to the fifth. We gotta go through the transition first. We're all gonna go. We can still gonna get there, but this jumpy thing, and we're just gonna pop right in there, is bananas. We all have to go to school for it. It just makes common sense. I make you laugh in the best way. Thank you. Okay, I say the fifth because I've been making vids 5 years, 4,000 vids on Facebook. Wonderful for you. Fantastic for you. Absolutely. And I mean that. A flower grows, it ascends to reach its height. When it has risen, it starts maturing. It's about maturity and growth and not just ascending. And those flowers, if you want to take that further, Miss Marie, and blessings to you, by the way, and good morning to you, is that flowers usually before they die and they pass their petals on, they make seeds for the next growth, for the next planting, for the next season, if you will, okay? So it's like right now, it's fall. All the weeds and all the flowers over the summertime, they've all dropped their seeds now. It's time. I went out in the garden and now it's like all the leaves fell off. But now if I go out there and try to dig in my garden, I'm going to turn all those seeds in. I'm going to turn all those weed seeds right into the ground, right over again. So I was seriously thinking about going out in the garden with a vacuum cleaner and seriously vacuuming up all the seeds that are in my garden from the weeds that were there over the last 2 months. Anyway, but to that point, though, it's that as we mature, then also the seeds mature. So as a person matures, and I look back on my own life with these other wonderful teachers who've taught me things when I was 25 and 30 and 40 and 50 and, and 60. But these people were my teachers. And who were they? Are they on anybody's bestseller list? No. But these were wonderful individuals. My grandmother, Sister Helene, the Chauvars, Colonel Chauvard, and all his stories about World War II and all of that, and blah, 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 and the history. And all these lists of wonderful, just people with good intention and compassion for other people even when we were down and out, when I got put in jail and I got back out, these people didn't shun me like some of my family did. They actually gave me part-time jobs so that I could get back on my feet and become a functioning member of society again. But so with that, these people made me feel worthwhile and kept me from committing suicide and blah, blah, blah. But what they also taught me was they sowed the seeds of knowledge, compassion, and love in me. And as an older person now, I mean, I've been doing it before, but my job now is to take what was given to me and bring those seeds to other folk and say, hey, maybe here's a thought, here's a seed. And let me put that in your brain and let you, wiggle that one around for a little while. See what grows, Hopefully it's something wonderful, Hopefully it's a clear thought. Hopefully it's something that will make more understanding than other things do. Or like, wow, that, this person, they're all about ceremonies and the smoke and things. Yeah, that's really all cool, but we don't need it. And I've been there. I've probably spent $1,000 in sage in my lifetime, and I ain't lying. But to the point though, that's not it. I don't have sage now, but I'm still a spiritual being. I can still connect with source. So is it useful? Can you use it? Should you? Yeah. But is it necessary? No. That's the thing. So with those things said, I just wanted to get on here this evening and yeah, weed. All I see is green. Then you still have to wed the garden, weed the garden. Yes, Miss Marie, absolutely. And you know what? Somebody was talking to me the other day, and it was like it makes sense. And what some of these organic gardeners are doing now, instead of going out and um, pulling the weeds, and pulling weeds now is just going to drop their seeds all over the place. That's why I quit. They were dropping seeds. And so it's like, wait a minute. So what they're doing is they're literally taking a propane torch to the garden and they're burning the seeds. Oh, ooh, that makes more sense, really. And also, the burned seeds act as a charcoal, and certain chemicals are released when they're burned, much like, when they burn down here in the South to get rid of the weeds and stuff. Yeah, anyway. So, but to the point, though, it's like, not a bad idea. Yeah, but I still have to do it. Absolutely. Those negative thoughts are like weeds. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they'll get in your head. We got to be good gardeners. A very wise and beautiful soul recently said on Facebook, they tried to bury us. They didn't realize we were seeds. I can't read the rest of that. It's too in my eyeballs. Cool metaphor. Thank you. Hey, Max, how are you? The wheat and the chaff, absolutely. And right now, it's going to look like wintertime here in the next week or so because all the cotton now is being picked. And so all of the big cotton mills and so forth around here, and I mean, they're huge. They're going to be combining cotton and then putting it in the gin. So there's going to be a lot of whiteness on the roads around here down in the South. And it starts right at this time of year when they start harvesting the cotton. The smell's almost gone. Not quite. There's still a few more fields that they need to spray with that defoliant, but it's almost. You did a vid about burning the lands where Ebola was to clean the lands. Burn it. Yep. So happy sickens some people. Yep. There you go. Yeah, down here in the South, I mean, I haven't burned in the last 2 years, but this fall or this winter, I need to burn my back. I got about 12 acres in the back that need to seriously be way too many pine needles. And thank goodness we had a wet season this season. But if it had been as dry as last season, I was really worried about too much pine needles because that stuff goes up and a little bit of wind. And I was burning a patch in my garden several years ago, and a big gust of wind came up and just took a couple of pieces of pine needle over and put it on some other pine needles. And that wind puffed one more time. And the next thing I knew, there was a wall of flame 20 foot high headed across this field. Boy, oh boy, it didn't last long. That wasn't the point. You talk about scare the crap out of some people because it was like everything was fine. Next thing you know, kawoosh, in this wall of flame. Yeah, I believe in, preventive burning. Absolutely. I just never thought of it in my garden before. I've done it in the backyard plenty of times, but, and it helps with the growth and so forth, but to the point. So listen, everybody, I love you much. Oops. Yeah, oops. You got that right, Marie. Um, I really I didn't think it was going to last an hour, but I usually say that. But divine intervention allows me to speak on things, and I honestly thank you all for being here. So let me close with a prayer. Um, I haven't had supper or anything, so I'm going to go out and fix something. But anyway, and go check the chickens still. But anyway, so from my heart to yours, I love you all. I do. I do. Miss Rainbow, did you just show up? Hi there, my dear. I hope I haven't seen you lately. Much love to you as well. You have a good night. Thank you very much. From my soul hearts and my whole, and I haven't even had anything to smoke yet. I've been waiting on it here. Oh, I'll do this quick video, then I'll take a hit. Yeah, hey, Paula. But anyway, so from my heart, soul, and my soul's heart to you, and I really do mean this, I wish you all the healing and blessings of the universe. I wish and I hope that you will accept and receive all of the blessings of the universe, all of the wisdom of the universe. Allow it to fill you and just shine your light through. Every single one of us affects the other person. And you all have proved to me that a simple old hippie down here in the swamps can have a slight bit of effect with folks in general, just to bring a smile, just to say hello, and to bring another thought to your mind. So I honestly love you all. You're wonderful, marvelous people. And if we all ever get rich, I'm having a barbecue. I'm just saying. So I love you all and good night for now. I got another topic I want to talk about. I may be back on later on tonight, but right now I got to go take care of a butt cramp. So I love you all. Thanks, Max, Marie, Rick and Delaney, Rainbow. Much love, everybody. Pamela, hello there, Pamela. You just got on too. Oh my goodness. Latecomers as I'm getting off. And Melanie, you too as well. So much blessings to all of you. I truly mean that. Big hug and a kiss from old Mr. Dave down here. Okay, so much love. Be kind. Be